In the next 30 minutes, let's go through the entire story of the latest Japanese sci-fi series, Human Vapor. A mysterious cloud of gas suddenly enters a man's body. The next second, he floats into the air and bursts into a cloud of dust. At the same time as this terrifying attack, a mysterious package arrives at J&T, a major television network. When the staff open it, they find nothing inside except a QR code printed beneath the lid. After reporter Kiyoko Kono scans the code, a mysterious man slowly appears on the television screen. The man claims that he is responsible for the murder broadcast live on television, and says that he first met the dead professor 27 years ago. The moment the video begins playing, major media outlets across Tokyo receive the exact same footage. In the video, the man announces that he will hold a press conference at 4 o'clock the following afternoon at a ramen restaurant called Bunko Ramen. There, he promises to reveal how he killed the professor, why he did it, and what he plans to do next. But he has one condition. Only the media outlets that run his video as their top story will be allowed to interview him. The moment he finishes speaking, one J&T employee discovers that other networks are already preparing to report on the video. Some believe the whole thing is nothing more than an elaborate prank, but Kiyoko notices that the video was recorded early that morning, before Professor Sano was killed. Based on that detail alone, she concludes that the mysterious man is very likely the real killer. With every media outlet fighting for the exclusive story, J&T's news director makes a decisive move and broadcasts the video as the top headline. The mysterious man's declaration instantly shocks the entire country. Countless people begin waiting for 4 o'clock the following afternoon. The police examine the mysterious package, but only recover the fingerprints of the delivery worker. They find no trace of the suspect. Detective Kenji Okamoto explains that he has questioned everyone connected to Professor Sano, but so far, no one has provided any useful information. The police also analyzed the professor's remains and determined that the explosion began inside his lungs. The lung tissue expanded rapidly, putting pressure on his neck. Then an enormous force erupted from inside his body, causing him to burst apart. Even more disturbing, the inside of his lung shows extensive chemical burns. They were not caused by heat, but by some unknown chemical reaction.
科学テロということか？
もう少し精密な分析が必要なようですが、これまでに例を見ない物質が原因だそうです。
動画のアカウントは特定できたのか？
それが海外のサーバーをいくつも経由していて、不明なアカウントのようです。
このラーメン屋というのは？
文庫ラーメンは七広通りにある普通のラーメン店です。規模はさほど大きくはありませんが、人通りが多い場所にあります。
The bizarre nature of the case quickly draws the attention of senior officials. In the end, Kenji is placed in complete charge of the investigation. Although the police seal off the area ahead of time, a huge crowd still gathers outside Bunko Ramen the following day. Kenji enters the restaurant first to inspect it, but it turns out to be nothing more than an ordinary ramen shop. There is nothing unusual inside. The mysterious man was supposed to arrive at 4 o'clock, but even at 4:25, he is nowhere to be seen. Just then, Kiyoko finds the restaurant owner and learns a little-known story from the past. At 5:07, Kenji suddenly receives a message from Kiyoko. 27 years ago, Bunko Ramen stood in a completely different location. By then, Kiyoko has already reached the abandoned building where the old restaurant once stood. There, she finally meets the mysterious man from the video. As Kiyoko begins her exclusive interview, Kenji leads a large group of officers toward the location. The man claims that he is nothing more than a victim who has suffered his entire life. He killed Professor Sano for revenge. In his eyes, the professor was not innocent. He was only paying for the crimes he committed long ago.
佐野教授の罪とは
ホワイトセンター。
ホワイトセンター。それは何ですか？
The man says the White Center truly existed, and the people who once worked there must be sitting in front of their televisions right now, remembering every crime they committed. Those people control the entire system. No matter what truth he reveals today, they will use their power to bury everything again.
これからあなたたちを 一人一人殺していくつもりです。
もし謝罪をしたり自らの罪を認めることがあれば和解をするということはあるのでしょうか。
さあ、おそらく彼らは謝罪しないでしょう。インタビューはここまでのようです。
ちょっと待って、あなたの名前は？
人々はこれから私をガス人間と呼ぶでしょう。
ガス人間。
Kenji aims his gun and orders the human vapor not to move. The human vapor slowly raises both hands, appearing ready to surrender, but the next second, thick clouds of mysterious gas begin pouring from his pant legs. To everyone's shock, the gas instantly spreads across the entire building and launches a violent attack on the officers. Kiyoko and Kenji can only watch as the human vapor escapes through the sewer. Somewhere else, a single eyeball quietly appears inside an auction held by the Fujishiro Syndicate, a powerful Yakuza organization. It seems to be searching for someone. When the gang members notice something strange, the eyeball slowly forms into a human body. The boss of the Fujishiro Syndicate is the human vapor's second target for revenge. After the human vapor escaped through the sewer, all he left behind at the scene was a set of clothes. While inspecting them, Kenji quickly notices the 4 buttons on the jacket. One of them has been sewn on differently from the other 3. When he turns the button over, he discovers a special symbol hidden underneath. It is the emblem of the Fujishiro Syndicate. The human vapor said in his video that every attack would leave behind a clue to the next one. Kenji therefore concludes that the human vapor's next target must be connected to the Syndicate. Kenji also notices that the object sticking out of the human vapor's shirt pocket in the video is identical to the object found in Professor Seno's pocket. Meanwhile, Kiyoko finds an old news report about the White Center. According to the article, the White Center was once a welfare facility that took in children who had nowhere else to go. As they continue digging, they discover that 28 years earlier, during the World Children's Peace Expo, a meteorite suddenly fell from the sky. The meteorite landed directly on the White Center. Even more suspiciously, Professor Sano was the head of the Meteorite Safety Investigation Committee.
隕石からは有害物質は発見されなかったって嘘を発表したんです。
嘘？
隕石からは有害物質が出てたんです。それを浄化する作業にある民間施設が関わってました。
ホワイトセンターですね。
その通りです。名目上は社会福祉施設。噂では入所者に非人道的に過酷な労働させていたらしいんです。
While searching through old newspapers, Kiyoko notices a man with a mole on his forehead. His name is Obata, and he was the director of the White Center at the time. Now, he appears to be working for a labor organization. With that clue, Kiyoko investigates 32 different organizations and eventually locates him. Kiyoko soon calls Obata, but the moment she says she is looking for the former director of the White Center, he immediately hangs up. More than 20 years have passed, but those memories still haunt Obata like a nightmare. He constantly suffers from hallucinations. Once, while kneeling to tie a little girl's shoelaces, he looks up and sees a horrifying face staring back at him. Another time, while riding a train, he sees the decaying bodies of countless children filling the carriage. After thinking for a long time, Obata finally makes a decision. He lifts his mattress and removes a long-forgotten White Center operations journal from a hidden compartment. The journal contains a detailed record of the meteorite evolution project and information on every test subject. One page is clearly marked with a single word: missing. The missing test subject is the man who has now become the human vapor and is carrying out his revenge. Early the next morning, Obata contacts Kiyoko. He admits that he possesses a journal documenting the crimes committed by the people who truly controlled the White Center. He wants to hand it to her personally so she can expose the truth to the public. They agree on a meeting place, but when Kiyoko arrives, she quickly realizes that someone is secretly following them. Sensing danger, she immediately leaves with her colleague, but the men continue chasing them. Eventually, Kiyoko and her colleague are cornered inside an underground parking garage. Just as they are about to fall into the Syndicate's hands, Kenji arrives with the police and rescues them. After escaping, Kiyoko suddenly realizes that Obata may also be in danger. Sure enough, Obata is carrying the journal toward their meeting place when he encounters a stranger claiming that his car has broken down.
故障ですか？
え
呼びましょうか。
え、すいません。そうしていただけると大変助かります。
ちょっと失礼します。小畑です。
小畑さん、今どちらにいらっしゃいますか？小畑さんの命が危ないんです。今すぐ近くの交番に行って、東京から警察が迎えに行くまで絶対にそこを動かないでください。
死ぬのは怖くありません。ホワイトセンターは彼らを人間燃料にする目的で利用されたんです。
人間燃料って何ですか？
ホワイトセンターを乗っ取ったあいつら、反対する前任者を殺害して不老者や身寄りのない人間、この社会の犠牲になるべき人間燃料だと。
その設立者をご存知ですよね？
無風という組織です。お渡ししたい資料にはその無風の
小畑さん、無風って何ですか？小畑さん、小畑さん、小畑さん、小畑さん。
The man steals the journal. By the time Kenji reaches the scene, Obata is already dead. The police immediately check the nearby security footage and identify the suspect's vehicle. The killer is Yamazaki, a member of the Fujishiro Syndicate. To avoid being tracked, Yamazaki throws his phone into a river. He then pulls out an old-fashioned phone and calls someone inside the organization.
頭がおっしゃるように日誌奪ってきました。今ここにあります。
その日誌
追跡されればと思ってさっき携帯捨てちゃったんですけど。
バカ野郎！何考えてんだてめえは。
どんな手使ってでも画像撮って送れ。おい、パクられそうになったら原本処分しろ。分かってんだろうな。
The Fujishiro Syndicate did not steal the White Center journal to keep it. Its leaders planned to sell the journal to a secret organization called MOFO for 300 million yen. But Yamazaki is a complete idiot. To record the contents of the journal, he steals a phone near the crime scene. The noise alerts Kenji and the others nearby. While they are chasing Yamazaki, Kiyoko's colleague suddenly realizes something important. They had only just arranged the meeting with Obata, so how did the Syndicate know where they would be? He immediately checks Kiyoko's phone and discovers that surveillance software has been installed on it. The software was not installed remotely. Someone had to physically handle the phone to place it there. That means Kiyoko only needs to remember who had access to her phone to identify the person behind it.
確認しましたが、特に何も出ませんでした。すいません。今日もお帰りいただいて結構です。
The person who installed the surveillance software is Yoshida, one of Kenji's fellow detectives. Yoshida follows Yamazaki to an abandoned unfinished building. By then, Yamazaki has recorded the entire journal and sent the video to the Fujishiro Syndicate. Just as he finishes burning the original pages, Yoshida finds him.
お前見ただろ、日誌。
いや、何も。
Yoshida quickly puts away his phone. When Kenji arrives, Yoshida lies and claims that Yamazaki suddenly attacked him, forcing him to fire in self-defense. But the moment Yoshida finishes explaining, Kiyoko calls Kenji.
それより、この間の事情聴取の時に、私の携帯持ってったメガネの刑事いたでしょ。
急になんだよ。
私が小畑さんと連絡取ってたこと、ヤクザが知ってたの変だと思わない？で、さっき携帯確認してみたら、ウイルスがインストールされてて。
何が言いたい？
私が最近携帯を預けたのはあの時だけ。だからそのメガネの刑事か、あるいは警察内部に。
そんなことあるはずないだろ
う。まだ答えてくれてないよね。
何のこと？
日誌。
日誌は全部燃やされたわ。これじゃさすがに危険すぎる。
Kiyoko ignored Kenji's warning to stop investigating. Instead, she has gone alone to a building across from the Fujishiro Syndicate's headquarters. There, she sets up professional surveillance equipment to listen to the Syndicate's conversations. Through the device, she learns that the video of the White Center Journal is now stored on the Syndicate boss's phone. But while Kiyoko is listening, the human vapor has already slipped inside the headquarters. He transforms into a disturbing eyeball and slowly moves through the building, searching for his next target. When the gang members notice him, the human vapor instantly returns to human form and begins a deadly rampage.
行くぞ。マジ。
The Syndicate boss jumps into his car and races away, but the human vapor continues chasing him. The car is protected by bulletproof glass. No matter how hard the human vapor strikes it, he cannot break through the window. The Syndicate boss believes he has finally escaped, but the next second, Kiyoko reaches the scene before Kenji. She immediately takes the Syndicate boss's phone and uses his face to unlock it. By the time Kenji arrives, Kiyoko has already disappeared without a trace. Struggling live streamers Fujita and Keiho accidentally notice a disturbing ghostly face in one of their videos. They plan to use it to attract attention online, but when they begin streaming, almost no one watches. Then one viewer recognizes the face as the human vapor, the mysterious figure who has recently terrified the entire city. The viewer immediately offers to buy the location of the human vapor's hiding place, hoping to get a better price. Fujita and his younger sister Keiho decide to visit the location first and investigate, but the moment they arrive, they discover a strange statue. Even more terrifying, the statue is actually the human vapor himself. As Keiho prepares to send the location to the buyer, she accidentally triggers a hidden mechanism. A line of dominoes begins falling one after another, eventually activating an old music player. As a gentle melody fills the room, a tear slowly runs from the statue's eye. The moment the tear hits the floor, the entire statue begins turning into gas. Soon, it reforms into the human vapor, moving like a machine. The human vapor raises his right hand and speaks.
リスナーさん、願いを一つ言ってください。
The moment he finishes, a nearby fax machine slowly prints out a photograph. At the same time, a voice gives a command. make a wish to the human vapor and ask him to kill the person in the photograph. Seeing this, Fujita and Keiho finally understand why the human vapor keeps killing people. He has no free will of his own. He is nothing more than a weapon being controlled by someone else.
サザンの曲がある種のトリガーになってるんだ。
この曲が流れると人間の形になる。
あそこから指示が来て、それに従って行動してるんだ。
ってことは、
ガス人間は自らの意志で動いてるんじゃない。誰か操ってるやつがいる。
Sometime later, the human vapor returns after completing the mission. As he transforms back into a statue, Fujita secretly installs a camera nearby. He plans to record the person controlling the human vapor. Suddenly, footsteps echo through the building. Fujita and Keiho quickly hide, but at that exact moment, the buyer calls them. The ringing phone instantly reveals their location. Then Kiyoko appears in front of them. It turns out that Kiyoko has been controlling the human vapor all along. Every person the human vapor killed was someone Kiyoko personally wished dead, but she was not doing it for personal gain. She was doing it for revenge. Before becoming the human vapor, the man was named Ren. Although Ren was not related to Kiyoko by blood, she had always called him her uncle, and the two were as close as a father and daughter. When Kiyoko was young, Ren once smiled and asked what she wished for. Without hesitation, Kiyoko answered that she wanted him to become her father. From that day on, their relationship became more and more like a real family, but their happiness did not last long. After the meteorite fell, the Fujishiro Syndicate forcibly took Ren to the White Center and used him as a test subject. Several other people entered the underground chamber with him, but before they could even approach the meteorite, their bodies were completely carbonized. Ren was the only person who managed to reach the meteorite, but the contact caused a horrifying mutation.
Sato?
Kiyoko watched helplessly as Ren screamed in agony while his body transformed. After that day, she never saw him again. Years later, Kiyoko grew up and became a reporter at J&T. During one investigation, she was led to the abandoned Bunko Ramen building. It was the same place where she and Ren had lived together when she was young. In the basement, she finally discovered that Ren had become a statue. Then one day, Kiyoko accidentally played a song in front of him. To her shock, the statue returned to human form. Ren told her that she could make a wish. Wanting to test whether it was true, Kiyoko made her first wish. She asked him to kill the people who had hurt him. Ren fulfilled the wish. From that moment on, Kiyoko continued using the human vapor to carry out her revenge while hiding the truth from everyone. She believed her secret would never be discovered, but in the end, Kenji still found out. While waiting inside Kiyoko's home, Kenji accidentally discovers an old photograph of Kiyoko and Ren together. At that moment, Kiyoko returns home and catches him looking at it. Realizing that she can no longer hide the truth, Kiyoko tells Kenji everything, but while the two of them are talking, something happens to Fujita and Keiho. Riki, the second in command of the Fujishiro Syndicate, tracks them down through their video and forces them to reveal the human vapor's location. To save Keiho, Fujita has no choice but to cooperate. When they reach the human vapor, the true mastermind working behind the Syndicate finally appears. He is Governor Miura. Not only was Miura one of the leaders behind the Meteorite project, but he is now also a highly popular political candidate using the election to build public support. After learning from Fujita how the human vapor can be controlled, Miura immediately gives Ren a new command to kill. Fujita and Keiho desperately run for their lives, but the human vapor continues chasing them. Fujita protects Keiho all the way to a river. To save his sister, he eventually decides to sacrifice himself. He runs into a gas station and soaks his entire body in gasoline. Then he throws Keiho into the river and sets himself on fire, trying to destroy himself and the human vapor together. After the explosion, the human vapor emerges completely unharmed. He returns to the basement to receive Miura's next command. Miura wants to present himself as a hero who saved the public so he can win more votes. He orders the human vapor to kill several members of his own campaign staff and cause civilian casualties, but Miura himself must remain unharmed. When Miura arrives at the scene, the human vapor immediately appears. A deadly attack begins. Kiyoko finds Keiho, who survived the attack. From her, Kiyoko and Kenji learn that Fujita hid a camera in the basement. If they recover the footage, they can expose Miura's crimes. The moment Kenji hears this, he turns the car around. He takes down the two guards at the entrance and successfully finds the camera.
今から約2時間後、三浦武の選挙事務所に何人かボランティアスタッフがいるはずだ。そこで暴れて3人殺せ。駅前にいるホームレスを皆殺しにするんだ。一人残らずな。あとはそうだな。俺を殺すなよ。
人は不安に陥るとより安定を望む。今回のテロが三浦の選挙にとって好材料となってる。
選挙に当選するために自分のスタッフを殺したのか。
三浦は今も昔も大衆のことを人とは思っていない。
When Kenji realizes that someone is returning, he prepares to leave immediately, but Kiyoko stops him because she has come up with a plan.
私とカホさんはその動画をなるべく早く世間に公表するから、ケンジは何とかしてレンおじさんが私を狙うよう三浦を仕向けてくれない。一つだけレンおじさんを止める方法があるの。
After hearing it, Kenji decides to remain behind alone. He will buy Kiyoko and Keiho enough time to escape. Kenji deliberately pretends to lose against Miura's men. He allows them to discover the camera after secretly removing its memory card. This successfully draws Miura to the location. Kenji then pretends to surrender and deliberately reveals Kyoko's hiding place. He wants Miura to believe that Kiyoko still has the evidence. That way, Miura will send the human vapor after her.
今すぐ河野京子を跡形もなく奪ったカメラのデータも粉々に破壊しろ。
Meanwhile, Kiyoko and Keiho split up. Kiyoko will distract the human vapor, while Keiho is responsible for exposing the evidence. Keiho immediately reaches a campaign event being held by Miura's political opponent. There, she hands over the hidden footage. As for Kenji, he secretly cuts through his restraints after Miura leaves. While Miura is publicly asking for votes, his opponent suddenly plays undeniable footage of him ordering the human vapor to kill people. As the crowd below begins walking away one by one, Miura finally realizes that something is wrong. With nowhere left to run, Miura goes to the rooftop and prepares to take his own life. But before jumping, he calls a mysterious and powerful figure. It is clear that Miura is not the true mastermind behind Mufu. Someone with even greater power is still hiding above him. By then, Kenji has already arrived with a team of officers to arrest Miura. Just as the operation is about to succeed, Yoshida suddenly attacks Kenji from behind, but another detective stops him in time. After a brutal fight, Yoshida is kicked into an elevator. He is eventually killed by his own weapon when the moving elevator crushes him. Kenji also reaches Miura before he can jump and successfully places him under arrest. But Kiyoko is not as fortunate. Only at the very end does Kenji realize that Kiyoko lied to him. She never had any way to stop Ren. The only thing she could do was lure the human vapor into the underground vault inside J&T's abandoned former headquarters. Then she would seal herself inside with him forever. By the time Kenji arrives, it is already too late. He can only watch helplessly as Kiyoko and the human vapor disappear together. 1 year later, Kenji sits alone at home and plays Kiyoko's favorite song. The moment the melody begins, A cloud of gas suddenly appears in the middle of the room, then it slowly takes human form. And that is the complete story of human vapor. Because of the limited time, there are still many details we could not cover. Anyone interested in the story should check out the full series. I'll see you in the next recap.